Hey, check out this melody I wrote. Hey, it's Avi. Welcome back to May Melody Madness, where I'm celebrating the release of my first course, the Just Right Music Melody Mastery Mini Course. More on that at the end of the video. I wrote this basically just taking some stuff from Mozart, from Eine kleine Nachtmusik. Let's go and check that out now. So here we are. Let's take a listen. Okay, so what did I like about this? First thing I like is I like these arpeggios. I'm a sucker for arpeggios. They are such a beautiful texture, and they work. They work. I did kind of like the syncopation over here. I might use some syncopation. Probably will use it in the form of a quarter note tied to an eighth note like that. And yeah, I like these 16th notes as well. Maybe use some 16th notes. Okay, cool. We got it. We got to our 2 to 3 things. We got an arpeggio, we got some syncopation, and we got some 16th notes. Boom. All right, so first thing, let's start with some arpeggios. Let's see. That's great. All right, let's hear our melody that we basically took right from Mozart. All we did was we took our arpeggiation, we kind of turned it on its head a little bit, but not honestly too much. Then we moved over here where I took this over here, this rhythmic pattern, ba-da-da-da. Instead of doing it more of a tie, I kind of use it as its own rhythmic block, as in a subdivision, as a eighth note, dotted eighth note to a 16th note over here, right? And then I utilized the just descending line over here in this kind of semi-half cadence, just sort of what's going on over here as well. And then we kind of took the inversion of this over here, right? Now it's going up and then down, and going up by 2 and then down by 3. Except instead of doing it as a pattern, we just kind of started down here in our C major, right? And just went right up the scale, right up the arpeggio, keeping up with the arpeggiation, and then having a kind of semi-Alberti pattern there. And then we sequence that pattern that I used the subdivision for, sequencing it up there again, and then using the same ba-da-da-da over here that we have right there. But again, we're using a nice little inversion of that. Whoop. Then at this point, this is just all liquidation, just getting to this C and jumping down the octave, which is just kind of a, you see that a lot with the bum, bum, bum going down the octave there. So that felt very Mozart-y, and yeah, that's why I put that in there. So there you go. That's how you can write a melody like Mozart, take some Mozart stuff, make your own stuff out of it. Not a problem at all. If you want some more melody tips like this, check out my free guide, 7 ways to write a more effective melody. Head to justrightmusic.com to grab your free copy. There's also a link down in the doobly-doo. But if you want to take things to the next level from there, and you want the same tools that people learn in music school, that composers use for film scores, that the great songwriters use for their own choruses and hooks and projects, you should check out the Melody Mastery Mini Course, because that's going to give you all of those tools without having to pay tuition, without having to pay a private teacher tens of thousands of dollars over the course of a couple of years. All you got to do is go to justrightmusic.com. It's right there waiting for you. I'll see you there. If you're looking for more composers, for more inspiration to do what I did here, you can check out the video popping up on your screen now. That's going to show you how to write a melody like Debussy. Thanks so much for watching, for hanging out with me today. I'm Avi, and don't forget to be awesome. What if I told you that you could take the main theme from the Pirates of the Caribbean movies and make your own brand new melody out of it? Let's check it out. Really solid theme. Oh my god, this is one of my favorite movie themes of all time. This was written and composed by Klaus Badelt, and it is just really wonderful theme writing. So in order to take this, use it as inspiration and make it our own, all we need to do is find a couple of things we like about it, and then find some things that it's not doing, and then let our ear do the rest. So let's dive in and make Pirates of the Caribbean our own. Let's steal, just like a pirate, the theme from Pirates of the Caribbean. I did a thing. All right, let's check it out. So what stands out to me first off about this is this motion right here, the bada, just like that. Let's listen to that part right there. Ba-da-da-da. Yeah, super cool. Love that. Ba-da-da-da-bum-bum. Look at that. My ear is just telling me what to do. So I'm literally going to copy and paste right now. That's how we're going to do this. Not even joking. All right, I think we got it. Let's take a listen to the Pirates of the Caribbean theme again, and then we'll listen to our new melody right afterwards. Now let's check out our stolen Pirates of the Caribbean theme. It wasn't as long. We changed the structure a little bit for sure. But can you hear the same objects, the same musical material at play, yet it's totally different and still kind of has the same vibe at the same time? This is fine. This was a brand new melody that we made using Pirates of the Caribbean as our inspiration, literally taking the exact notes and rhythms and using them in a different way. So there you go. That's all there is to it. If you're interested in writing melodies, memorable melodies like your favorite composers, songwriters, and artists, check out my free training, 7 Ways to Write a More Effective Melody. There's a link down in the doobly-doo. You can also get it at justwritemusic.com if you just want to go there. Just want to go there. justwritemusic.com. That's it. If you like this video, then do it. Like it. Press the like button. Subscribe to the channel. And if you want to recommend a new melody for me to steal and create a brand new melody out of, you can also do that right in the comments, right down there. Thanks so much for watching and for hanging out with me today. I'm Avi. Don't forget to be awesome. Hey, check out this melody I wrote. What if I told you that I literally lifted most of this material straight from the man Beethoven himself? Yeah, I did that. Nothing says Beethoven more like Ode to Joy. This is one of the most popular, one of the most well-known melodies of all time. That's kind of nuts. So today what we're going to do is I'm going to teach you how to write a melody just like Beethoven here, using Ode to Joy as a base, as a reference. The first thing that we're going to do is we're going to fish for some objects. This is actually a really hard piece to use objects for because they're mostly quarter notes, really. We have quarter notes, and then we have the dotted quarter note to an eighth note here. So one thing that we can do is we have a repeated note over here, so that's an object. We have a repeated note over the bar line going from 4 to 1. Okay, don't have that here, but we have it there. Almost every other bar. So that's one thing. Boom. And we also have a repeated note over here as well. Every time there is a repeated note, 1 and 2 is also repeated. So that's another thing that we can use. Anything else? So here we are. Let's make our own little Beethoven guy. So first thing, I liked those repeated notes. So let's just put those in right now. Taking a note at random over here, right? So we had that. Gonna keep that. Same thing here, right? Every other one. And same thing here. Why don't we take this this dotted quarter note to an eighth, use that as the sort of main thing instead of writing these quarter notes. I like it. I like it. Pulling a switcheroo. Let's start on the E there. All right, so far so good. We have a repeat here. We have a repeat there. Those are, I don't know if I like that being E's. Yeah, that's too much. Okay. Maybe a G there. All right. Make that a half note. Let's see how this sounds so far. Totally fine. We just took one motive. We took this motive and changed it with that instead. We even kept the same note. You can hear how it still kind of sounds like Ode to Joy, sounds like Beethoven, but still kind of making its own thing happen. Ooh, okay. Kind of sensing like we're also going to be ending on kind of 5 like Beethoven is. Maybe some eighth notes here. And then, yeah. Okay, let's see how this sounds. Too many G's. Too many G's over here. There it is. Ooh, what if we kind of did it sneakily more? Yeah, I like that. Okay, because we're still making the same thing happen over the bar line like we wanted to. I think I like the E better. Change that to an E. See how that sounds. Pretty. What would it sound like if we just did a direct sequence of this? What does Beethoven do? Let's use Beethoven. Oh, he just used a descending line. Oh, so maybe we're doing less like Beethoven. Yeah, that feels a little bit better. It's less like Beethoven, but it's more similar to Beethoven's context of like the bridging the classical and romantic eras. So we have our 4 bars, 1, 2, 3, 4. Very nice. That's it. We just wrote a melody like Beethoven. Let's go a little bit farther. Let's maybe take a little bit of this, take what we have and, vary it. What we have here is very, very classical / romantic, very Beethoven. So we have a little pattern, a little idea. We repeated it and we sequenced it down. Then we continued with our quarter note pattern. We had some eighth notes and then maintained EE, the GG, DD, DD, EE over there. All good. So then we kind of played on that a little bit, had the eighth note coming in a little early, popping up here, continuing our motive, the CC over here. But now we drop the motive, we liquidate the motive and do what Beethoven does over here. Over here, just straight descending line down a scale. We're doing that same thing here, but doing it twice before liquidating right up to our octave. Let's hear that back in its entirety. Boom, there you go. That is how you can write a melody just like Beethoven. If you're looking for more melody tips, check out my free guide, 7 Ways to Write a More Effective Melody. You can head to justwritemusic.com to grab that. There's a link down in the doobly-doo. If you want to know for sure whether or not your melody is actually good, you can go ahead and click on the video that's popping up right now, and I will see you over there. Thanks so much for watching and for hanging out with me. I'm Avi. Don't forget to be awesome. Hey, it's Avi. Check out this melody I wrote. What if I told you this whole melody, this thing, was taken very much using material solely from Brahms's famous lullaby? You know, you've heard it, lullaby and goodnight, all of that stuff. That's this lullaby, and I took it, made it mine, and created a whole new melody out of it. And today, I'm going to show you how you can do that too. What's up? I'm Avi. Welcome back to May Melody Madness, where I'm celebrating the release of my first online course, the Just Write Music Melody Mastery Mini Course. Okay, so here we are. Let's listen to this classic Brahms lullaby. Great, so this is just those first 4 bars. Really simple melody, really beautiful melody. Let's fish for some objects. First thing I'm seeing right off the bat that I'm probably going to use is this 2/8 note motive over here. I like the thirds happening over there. I like the 8th note, ba-da-ba-da-ba-ba. I like that as well. These are mostly rhythms I'm thinking about and intervals. It's a lot harder to take inspiration from some of these more simple melodies because the objects they use are so emphatically what makes them sound like themselves. That can be really tricky, right? Especially with the intervals. So we're going to keep the tempo. We're going to keep the key. It's going to be in E flat as well. How about we take this? Let's create a sequence just sort of with that. I'm just going to do that. That's how I'm going to play this. Whoops. Oh, let's change the key as well. Okay. I just hit K to bring that menu up. E flat major. That's where we're at. C minor works fine too. How about we change the harmony to... All right, let's see what we got here. Let's see what we got here in a little Brahms melody. I need another one. Yeah. Let's see how it sounds. Very so pretty. Very so pretty. Those aren't English. It really had still this Brahmsy kind of feel. Really still gave us a lullaby type of vibe, even though we have a different texture. A lot of the same rhythms, a lot of the same objects, same tempo, same key. It doesn't matter whether or not the melody that you are working from, your inspiration source, is something crazy ubiquitous like this incredibly beautiful and time-tested lullaby. The simplicity of it can be a little bit more challenging, and that's just a task. It's a challenge. But it is totally doable as long as you are able to use the tools, the melodic tools that are available to you. If you want to have more of those tools at your disposal, check out my free guide, 7 Ways to Write a More Effective Melody. There is a video version of that now, so check that out. If you want to go even further, just want all the melodic tools, the same stuff that masters of the craft of today you can use as well if you check out my course, the Just Write Music Melody Mastery Mini Course. You can head to justwritemusic.com to check out both of those at your leisure. There's a link down in the doobly-doo. Now, something you might not know about Brahms over here was Brahms was like really obsessed with that Beethoven guy, and Beethoven, as you know, he's a big boy in the classical world. If you want to write a melody just like Beethoven, you can check out the video that's popping up on your screen right now. That is going to help you write a melody just like Beethoven. Thanks so much for watching and for hanging out with me today. I'm Avi, and don't forget to be awesome.
What if I told you that we could take the Christmassy goodness that John Williams wrote for Harry Potter and make it our own? Take it, make our own melody out of it. So what we're going to do is we're going to fish for some objects in the John Williams theme. We're going to kind of amalgamate our own little basic idea out of it, and then from there, kind of let our ear do the rest. I really like the ba-da-da, ba-da-da, and as well as these thirds here, they are kind of nice, I'm not going to lie. That's kind of the whole thing, the ba-da-da and the ba-ba-ba-ba. It's like the whole theme. Let's try starting with these slurred quarter notes. So instead of doing this ba-da, we're going to do something else. So we're leaning away a little bit from these eighth notes with the staccato, and instead leaning a little bit more into these quarter notes, but we're still got the ba-da-da-ba-ba-ba-da, basically the exact same rhythm here, but we have a totally different first measure. Let's see how that sounds so far. Maybe we'll scrap the entire thing, who knows? Almost. That's it. That is it. That's it. We figured it out. I figured it out. Oh my God, that sounds so wonderful. It's Christmassy too. It feels like feels like we're sliding into Christmas. We're just sledding on down the snowy trail into the Christmas. So now what we're gonna do is something similar. We're going to take these and we're just gonna repeat them, but we're gonna change them. Perfect. Perfect. Honestly, we could even kind of stop there, but we're not going to. That's kind of catchy. I like it. Okay. I'm gonna do something interesting. So I'm gonna use the rhythm from here, but I'm gonna do it in reverse. So we have da-na, we have this little third quarter notes with the slur. I think we got it. Let's take a listen to the original Christmas at Hogwarts theme, and then we'll listen to our new melody. Now let's listen to the melody that we just wrote by stealing our objects and our inspiration from John Williams' Christmas at Hogwarts. That was whimsical as hell. That was super whimsical. All the whimsy. Loved it. Oh my God. I got all the Christmassy vibes, just like I get from the John Williams theme, Christmas at Hogwarts, from Harry Potter and the Philosopher's Stone. So there you go. That's all you need to know and all you need to do to write a melody just like John Williams' Christmas at Hogwarts theme. If you want to write melodies just like this, you wanted some tools to, add to your tool belt, check out my free training, 7 Ways to Write a More Effective Melody. These are ubiquitous tools. No matter what genre you write music in, these are going to help. I promise. If you like this video, give it a like, push that like button. You can also subscribe if you really liked it. And if there's a melody that you want to see me take as inspiration and steal to create a whole new melody, you can leave that recommendation right down there in the comments. Thanks so much for watching and for hanging out with me today. I'm Avi. Don't forget to be awesome. This sort of chromatic descent, because we have a D flat to C to a B natural. It kind of reminds me also of the Prelude to the Afternoon of a Faun by Debussy, my main man, the Debussy. not the other thing.
Let's take a listen to it, and then we're gonna take some stuff from it and make our own melody out of it to basically show you how we can take any of our inspirations and use them in some creative ways and some not so creative ways to create our own music that sounds good. All right. Before we get going, however, I have a free training that I'd like to tell you about. It's called 7 Ways to Write a More Effective Melody. It'll help you do just that. It'll help you write more memorable melodies using tools that your favorite songwriters and composers and artists use, just like John Williams. All right, first thing I'm gonna do is I'm gonna come up with some kind of basic idea, right? And I'm gonna use what we have here to create that basic idea. So maybe I'm gonna take this C. Let's start on the C. Let's start with what we have and what we're looking for, right? Really kind of taking some of the stuff. I don't know why I zoomed in like that. Taking some of the stuff. Now maybe it looked better zoomed in like that. Some of the stuff that we've been talking about. Now we already have it. We're flipping stuff on its head. Let's even make this tied. Yeah, let's tie it. Why not? Let's see what happens. Let's see. This is jumping up. So let's jump down. So let's just go down by a sixth, if anything. Yeah. So we're gonna go down to this E. Cool. Maybe add a little bit of chromaticism, like we were going down chromatic, maybe we go up chromatic. Same thing, but changing directions. We're basically just taking something that I like and using it in maybe the opposite way or in a different place with a different context. That's how you take shit. That's how you do that. This is how music is written, you guys. I think that works just fine. Literally using the same B flat C, D flat that he's using, totally fine. So this so far is just like this plus that, and then with this, and then none of that, no quarter note. That's all that's different so far, and it already sounds like, yeah, it sounds kind of the same, or the same stuff, but different enough for it to be its own thing. Oh, nope. Now here, let's do that F flat thing. Really give ourselves that vibe, that Marion's theme vibe. Maybe you can be a little bit closer. Gall. Now I'm kind of hearing maybe like some falling quarter notes. Descent of a fifth here. Interesting. Okay. That was good. The only thing I didn't like was, actually, honestly, that was fine. It was very reminiscent. We have the same intervals, but it's not exactly the same, really. That F going down to the E flat and the G. Yeah, it is more or less the same intervals, but it's not the same notes, and it kind of hits a little bit differently. But it's enough of a good thing. It's good. It's done. This is it. We finished our brand new Marian theme. We could put this in, a whole new piece, and people might be like, "Oh, that kind of sounds like that," but it's like kind of its own thing still. That's what we're doing here. Check out my version of Marian's theme. Oh wait, we wanted to listen to the first one too. All right, so let's listen back to Marian's theme, then we'll listen to my new version. See how you like it. Let me know what you think. And here's our new theme. Still so pretty, right? I kept like the same, almost everything, same kinds of notes, same types of motions, but this is totally its own thing now, right? When you can play it back to back like that, you can definitely hear how similar it is, but this is the exact kind of thing that John Williams himself was doing to composers like Gustav Holst and Tchaikovsky and a lot of the 20th century greats and Debussy that you hear in the Star Wars scores, in these Indiana Jones scores. That's a whole other video, I suppose, of just like, well, other people have done it. They've done it already, and they did a great job. This is how this is done. You find something that you think is pretty, and you play with the tools, these new tools, in your own sandbox, right? And look what we can come up with just from things that already exist in the world. This is so pretty. This is. I wouldn't be surprised if Marian's theme is a mangling of another composer's beautiful theme, and I now just mangled it even further. We have multi-generational mangling happening at this point. It's a good time. So there you go. That is Marian's theme. That's how you can take Marian's theme and any other theme that you want and make your own melody out of it. If you want to write melodies like this and use the same tools that I'm using, that I'm telling you about in this video, check out my free training, 7 Ways to Write a More Effective Melody. It'll help you make memorable melodies, sometimes even out of other people's memorable melodies, as is the case of this video. So go ahead and check that out. You can just go to justwritemusic.com. That's all you have to do. There's even a thing on the screen telling you how to get there. And by how to is just a emoji with a hand pointing to the domain name. So have fun with that. Thanks so much for watching and for hanging out with me today. I'm Avi. Don't forget to be awesome. Check out this theme from Lord of the Rings, composed by Howard Shore. What an iconic theme that Howard Shore wrote. What's up, everybody? My name's Avi. Let's pick apart Howard Shore's History of the Ring theme here and see what makes it take a little bit and see if we can re-engineer it into our own melody. The first thing that comes to mind is the second right over here, this, right? And over here it comes in again. And then when we have the sequence down over here, we're doing a chromatic sequence down by a ninth, and we have that same half step, that minor second, which is just so integral to the theme itself. You hear this used throughout the entire Lord of the Rings score. It's super, super cool. Anytime the ring is being mentioned, we have this theme come back in some way. By the way, the minor ninth, right, is a minor second. It's just a half step. So the fact that we're going down and doing this sequence down by a minor ninth is still utilizing that same intervallic material for thematic purposes. That's just how smart Howard Shore is as a composer and as a film scorer. It is crazy, absolutely nuts. So the next big interval to look out for in this theme is actually a really common interval you see in a ton of action movies, superhero movie themes. In fact, Charles Cornell just did a great video about it. I recommend you go and check that out. But that's the fifth right here. We have a B going down to an E. Same thing down here, right? We have the A sharp going down to the D sharp. Those are our intervallic objects that we can use and mine for our own melody. Next, let's take a look at some rhythmic objects. We have the quarter note to a dotted eighth. Then we have the 5/16 notes. And then we have a quarter to another dotted note, a dotted half this time. That's kind of interesting. That's sort of it. This one rhythm is repeated over and over again. So not a whole lot to work with rhythmically in terms of diversity. I think we have enough. Let's pull a little bit from Howard Shore himself. He inverts the minor second into this ninth, right? Well, it's not a true inversion. He just like kind of bumps it down the octave as opposed to like doing a full inversion, which would have been a major seven. Why don't instead we do a type of linear inversion instead of a harmonic or a vertical inversion? Maybe flip this almost entirely on its head. What do I mean by that? Well, we're going to do this type of thing first, right? So I'm going to pull this. I'm literally just going to copy it just like that. That's how easy this is going to be. And I'm going to switcheroo, right? So this is going to be the E. And now this is going to be the B. Going to keep the same tempo, going to keep the same key. It's really going to help drive the point home of how we can take the same material and just manipulate it, vary it, change it to our own purposes, and still have it be connected to the thing that we're inspired by. All right, so we have our fifth here. Let's take now, we're just gonna bring that over, literally the same thing. Let's see, I'm just gonna see what's going on and get my ear going. Maybe bring this down the octave. Yeah. What if, this is gonna be stupid easy if this works, but how about I just do the same type of linear inversion again? My head's just been like, let's just do the same thing over again, except, you know, for this measure instead. So maybe now we have, what if we take away this, right? Kind of leave that as 16th notes. So that, remember how we have this kind of lone 16th note here? What if we do the same thing, except first over here? We have a 16th note, this becomes a dotted 8th note, and let's just even put this on the B, tie that over. Maybe I'll keep that same thing right now. And instead of going up, let's go down. So maybe you don't know. I'm feeling the down. And maybe, ooh, I don't know. Oh. Interesting. That's actually kind of cool. And we're just going to do a quick repeat like that. You know, it's giving me it's actually reminding me of another movie theme that I can't quite, it's not coming to me right now, but it's definitely reminding me of something. Oh, it's so close. Shit, guys, tell me in the comments what you think it is because it's so close. Na 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 na. It's like almost Star Trek, I guess. It's kind of Star Trek. I think I'm just accidentally writing the Star Trek theme, and that would be really cool. 2, 3, 4. I kind of wanted 5 there, but whatever. Yeah, no, maybe no B. Let's just hear how that sounds. What if something like that? No. Yeah, that's not too bad. Something like that. Maybe have a little note. Because before, right, we have like the slur, and then the fifth is, or this kind of like resty part on the bar 2 is not slurred, right? There's not legato there. Cool. Yeah, I think that's fine. Now let's do the exact same thing. This time, instead of doing a sequence down by an octave, let's do it up by. But we don't want to keep the same octave, right? So maybe we'll go up by a major 7, right? But we want to keep the same exact intervals. We want to keep the chromatic sequence. So this is a perfect fifth. Cool, perfect fifth. All good. And then we are keeping, that's all fine. And then going up by B to C, that's a half step. So that B over there should be a B flat then. B to A, that's fine. And then E to F. Going down by a third. And that's an F A, that's a major third. G to B, that's a major third. And then here, E to F. E to D, that's a whole step. F to S, so this needs to be an E flat. Yep. Let's even keep some of those diminuendos. Let's even keep the exact same dynamics. Let's see how that sounds. The exact same dynamics. You know, I'm not sold on that. That is really what I'm feeling. Descent by a fourth. Yeah, I think that's gonna feel better. So much better. One last thing here. Man, I want that 5/4. I fucking want it. I want that 5/4 so badly. So I'm going to take it. But maybe not here. Maybe only on these second bars. Maybe not on the repeat. Yes, that was it. There it is. To see how easy that was? We took the same material, we took the same intervallic objects, we took the same rhythmic objects, and we flipped them around is really all we did. We flipped around linearly the actual order of what's going on here. We have this resolution now is the beginning, and this beginning is now the resolution going down, right? We kind of liquidated a little bit of the second, but we still have it happening over here. With this minor second here, minor second there. We took it away over here. It felt a little Mickey Mousey, but we do still have some minor second, some descending minor second type of motion with the B flat. The minor second is still there. It's just not playing quite as prominent a role. And that's a good thing in this case because Howard Shore uses this minor second anytime the temptation of the ring or anything like that is kind of present in a scene. So it's good that we sort of moved a tiny bit away from that so that it didn't feel quite so much like Howard Shore's theme. And yet still we have enough to make it feel like its own thing and still like, oh yeah, I could totally see how we got from the History of the Ring theme to here. There you go. That's how you can write a melody like Howard Shore and his score for Lord of the Rings. If you want more melodic tools to help you write effective melodies, check out my free video training, 7 Ways to Write a More Effective Melody. There's a link down in the doobly-doo. Leave a comment with what you thought about this video and any movie theme or any music question or composition question or writing question that you have. Love answering those questions and happy to make a video just for you. Thanks so much for watching and for hanging out with me today. I'm Avi. Don't forget to be awesome. Did you know that John Williams, of John Williams fame, is a shockingly good composer? Not just composer, but melody and theme writer. I guarantee that you can probably think of at least 2 or 3 themes that Mr. John Williams has composed that have probably, if you're a musician, composer, songwriter person, affected you deeply, right? One of those themes for me is the absolute gorgeous theme from Indiana Jones, Marion theme, the Marion's theme. It's Marion's theme. It's her theme for her. Such a good melody. It's so annoying. All right, why is this such a good melody? What is working about this? So the first thing that stands out to me, number 1, are triplets. I love triplets. Triplets sound so good. We're in 4/4 here, right? Mr. 4/4, and we are using these triplets after already having a quarter note and a whole note, so that it's enough to give us the context of 4/4. And then by the time we hit the triplet, it's just like, wait, what? We're in a metrical bliss with all different kinds of pulses happening. It sounds fantastic. So that's number 1. The triplets, I love triplets. That's more of a preferential thing than anything else. I don't know. I feel like most people like triplets. The second thing that really stood out to me is this big jump, this big ol' 6th right in the beginning. It is dramatic. It is romantic as hell. I love it. It's a good time. It's a good time for me. These kinds of dramatic leaps are a great way to infuse a sense of yearning, a sense of longing. We're jumping up into the dreams of ours that we have. Right? Good. Number 1 is good. Use of the 6th here. This big old jump right at the beginning. The triplets. Well, actually, triplets were number 1, but don't worry about that. So the next thing that happens here is we really break the triplet up immediately with these quarter notes. Da, 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 da. Oh, that F flat. I know. Let's just move past it for now. So this F flat is enharmonically an E natural, but what is more important to talk about is that it's just a half step above this E flat that we start on. We're kind of in an A flat place, sort of, maybe. I don't know. You can correct me on that if you want. We start, right, this E flat to C, then going down to the B flat. But as soon as we go back up to this D flat, we go down to this F flat or E natural, whatever you want to call it. It is, you can think about it like a flat 6 or a raised 5. If we're in A flat, that F flat is going to be a flat 6. So that kind of makes sense in that sense, because it's a 6. In A, it's got to be some kind of F, right? So we are hanging on this C again, right after this da-da-da-da-da, up to that C. So we're hanging on the same C too. So it's almost reminiscent of us pining after the same thing, right? We're kind of focused. It's very literally one note. So that 4th bar, or wait, 1, 2, 3. Yeah, that 4th bar is the exact same as the 2nd bar, a complete direct repeat. Remember, repetition legitimizes. Know your Adam Neely. And then when you go up here, we change things up a little bit. We are now starting on the C again, but instead of holding it, we have another triplet moving up. G flat, right? Little G flat there. Maybe if we're still in A flat, then maybe it's like a Mixolydian thing. Yeah. Or maybe it's like an I don't know, but then an I don't know thing. Right? So this now is the apex so far of the entire melody of the melodic contour. That means it's the highest point. And the lowest point, interestingly enough, is here at the beginning, kind of symbolizing to us that we are starting. Our lowest point was at the starting point as we're kind of like thinking about this perhaps romance, this love, fun stuff like that. Yeah, we're jumping back up here. We're up the apex. Now we're hitting this F flat, whatever you want to call it, down again. Big old jump down by an octave. Now, there's something else happening here. Check this out. Mr. John Williams is taking this triplet and using it as a very strong object in this, to the point where we have it repeated once, repetition legit, and then we have it sequenced up by one step, right? Before then sequencing it down by, what is that? That's going to be like a fifth, right? Yeah. C to F flat. So now here, that's interesting. If it's an E natural that we decided on, then it would be going down by a sixth, just like this right here. But the fact that it's that specific interval is significant in this case. So we have that where Nadir now sequencing, again, this is just going up by step. That's why it's a sequence, because we're going up by step, up, well, that's the repeat, so that doesn't count. We're going up by step, right? We're just now one step up. Confused yet? And then we're doing the same exact thing, right? We're just doing one note up, one note up, one note up, one note up, all the same. Right? And then this last note, suddenly we're not on a C anymore. The thing that we've been looking after, maybe perhaps we don't know what we've been looking at yet. We don't know what we've been pining after. And by the time we have the B natural, or, you know, I've seen some notations of this as a C flat, so that's a thing. Either way, it's going to be indicating some kind of difference. But the C flat maybe is less of a difference because we still have the C as the pitch. So it's just like we have found our thing, but it's a little bit different, or we know a little bit more about it. And same thing goes from the B just to an even greater extreme. You can really hear that B natural / C flat like just take you by surprise. It just hits you and you're just like, duh. It's amazing. We have this really interesting thing where we have the triplet object. That object is then sequenced, but it's not sequenced as like a whole bar is sequenced. We have this jump of a fourth, jump of a fourth, not quite the jump of a sixth that we have this entire time, but we don't lose it. We have this downfall of the octave here, and then the resolution on this da-na-na. Like, what is that? That's so pretty. It sounds so good. No, man, this right here, this creates so much flavor, right? That's maybe the next thing to talk about, actually, is this use of chromaticism. I've been like F naturaling and flatting and E naturaling this entire time, G flatting and B naturaling / C flat. So what does these non-diatonic chords, how does this help, right? Say we're just in an A flat place, because this really feels like, for me, a 5-3 feeling in a major key. And then all of these things feel like changes of the major scale, right? They don't feel like they're diatonic to a scale in and of itself, right? At least not any scale. Maybe it's some fancy jazz scale that are, I don't know, hypo something, whatever, right? But the point being is they don't feel like they're supposed to be part of it. It feels like they're inflections on something else. It's very... it feels like it's supposed to be separate in some way. And so I think that's very interesting. It's a very powerful part of this melody, that these chromatic notes really just change the things that we're affecting. Kind of like the way that if this is supposed to be a love or a romance theme, it's like the way relationships change our lives for the better in often unexpected ways, right? We feel supported, and so the expectation is the scale, perhaps, if we're talking about theme writing now. And these chromatics, these non-diatonic chords, are the changes, right? Are the wonderful unseen changes that are happening based off of this person. You know, I mean, let's not, in Raiders, you know, what was she, like 15 at first? It was kind of messed up, Indy. Not a good look. So yeah, this chromaticism really does quite a huge job. We have this G natural that is, right after we hear the G flat here, we get the G natural back again. So a lot of different changes. There's a very like 20th century vibe to this score, to this, to this melody particularly, and that's not, that makes sense considering John Williams' upbringing and stuff that he was into. Like, so much of his music just like, just screams like early 20th century composition and like early film history, you know what I mean? Which makes sense. This sort of chromatic descent, so we have a D flat to C to a B natural. It kind of reminds me also of the Prelude to the Afternoon of a Faun by Debussy, my main man, the Debussy, not the other thing. So there you go. That is Marion's theme. That's why it sounds so good. That's why John Williams is a freaking genius. If you want to write melodies like this and use the same tools that I'm using, that I'm telling you about in this video, check out my free training, 7 Ways to Write a More Effective Melody. It'll help you make memorable melodies, sometimes even out of other people's memorable melodies. Just go to justwritemusic.com. That's all you have to do. Thanks so much for watching and for hanging out with me today. I'm Avi. Don't forget to be awesome. Check out what Debussy does right here. This is kind of nuts. Did you hear that? Did you see that right over there? Bum, bum, just pops right up there. Big old register change. It's not just Debussy that does this either. Check out Mozart, my man, going on over here. Right there. Ba-da-da-da-da. Hold on. You know what? This is some music I've been working on. Right over here. Look at that. Just popping up there. Let me see this. What I'm talking about is melodic contour. Sometimes we're just kind of hanging out in one place, but that can be fatiguing. By changing up the contour, by popping into a new register, we can avoid listener fatigue. Solid move to keep our melodies interesting, to keep things going forward. The first way we can do this is to do what Claude Debussy does. But in this case, it's this big jump that we slowly move all the way back down to this lower part over here. It's part of the whole logic of the phrase. It works. Just freaking do it. Just popping up an octave. The first thing we hear in the piece is the opening of the entire piece. That makes it something that we associate with the piece itself. It's our first impression, so we expect this octave jump. You could just do it. You don't even have to foreshadow it or anything else. Just get it done. The second thing that you can do is do what Mozart did. Over here, Mozart was a silly, silly boy. He just utilized arpeggios. So the lowest note that we had so far in the melody is this G. You can actually see it happen right here. My man, Mozart, over here just pops right up to the G by arpeggiating up the C chord. G, C, E, G. That's all he did. And then he does the exact same thing going down here. We're on the dominant. Ba, da, 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 da. So that's Mozart. You can just arpeggiate it. In order to do that, you figure out what chord you're on. In this case, we are solidly on a C major chord right here. The melody already starts on a C, and we're just a ba, 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 ba. So really, really in C, going right up chord tone to chord tone. Even, in Palestrina strict style, all the counterpoint, voice leading stuff, you can go to whatever note you want as long as it's a chord tone. You don't have to justify it by it being some type of passing tone or neighbor tone or accented whatever tone. It will sound sonorous or harmonious. Let's move on to the next way we can do it, the way that I did it. Let's be real, this whole thing's a bit the whole, wait, I just figured this whole thing out thing. Right. So let's see what happened here. Let's listen to just the violin part here. Okay, so what I am doing here is I'm building a ladder. So I start here, go up to the F, not a huge jump, but still a jump. Then I go down to the E, settling us down from the jump a little bit. And then we go back to the F, and then we go up an octave to another F up here, and then from there we pop up to this D, which is just a sixth. That's less than an octave still, but we in total went from this low A all the way up to this high D. That's a pretty far jump, but you can see that we kind of step by step created these ladder points, these stepping stones that make it so our ear isn't totally and completely hit by the register change. We are kind of building up this ascending line. We're sort of portending what's going to happen, preparing us for these jumps. So there you go. Those are 3 ways that you can change registers in your melody when you're writing music to make sure that you are staving off listener fatigue. If you want 7 powerful tips to help you stave off listener fatigue outside of these register change boys, check out my free guide, 7 Ways to Write a More Effective Melody. There I'll run you through the gamut and you'll get more tips just like these register changes to help you make your melody the very best it can be. Head to justwritemusic.com to get your free copy. There's a link down in the doobly-doo. But it's not just melody that's a big deal. We also need to worry about harmony. Sometimes we have our melody, but we need a solid win to make sure our harmony for our melody is just like awesome and powerful and amazing. Check out this video right over here, and that's going to show you how to make a powerful harmony for your melody. If you like the video, do a video engagement thing. I'm Avi, and don't forget to be awesome.